All right. Welcome, everyone. Hello. Hello. Happy that you're all here.
Hi.
Hoi. All right. Happy that you're all here. I am going to mute you all, though, just to make it more better audible for everyone so you can all hear me. I'm really happy that you're all here. We're with quite a group, so that's good. Yeah, if you've never been to a class of mine before, or if you never met me before, I'm Steffi. I see there are a few names that I don't know yet. Welcome. I am a yoga teacher, and I work mainly with women who are dealing with any kind of pelvic pain or issues. And I use yoga with that, but also belly massages, Reiki, and pelvic coaching. And this month is the Pelvic Pain Awareness Month, which is to bring more awareness to especially chronic pelvic pain. And I think it's really important that there's more awareness for pelvic pain because there are so many women who deal with pelvic pain. And then from that group, there's also a really big group that doesn't even go and find help. And I hope with my yoga classes and all the other things I do that I can be a little bit, a tiny part in that road to recovery. So today we're going to do pelvic yoga, which is a kind of yoga where we work really with the pelvis. We'll do specific poses that will help lengthen and stretch the pelvic floor and all the surrounding muscles. We'll also do a little bit of strengthening and stabilizing because for healthy muscles, it's important that they are able to lengthen, but it's also important that are able to turn on and contract. And we'll be moving a little bit with the pelvis. So I think we just gonna start. And in the email, I've put some props that might be handy. So a belt, a couple of big pillows or bolsters, a couple of blankets or big towels, a couple of blocks or books or whatever you've got at home. Be creative. And if you don't have the props, don't worry. There's always a way to work around it. And then I'm going to move towards the mat. So if you're not on your mat yet, go on your mat. I'm going to shift my camera. Yes. And then let's start. So let's move to the mat. I want to start in a lying down position. And I want you to be comfortable. So it might be that you choose to grab a pillow or a bolster and place that underneath your knees. And it might be that you grab one of your blankets or towels and place one folded one underneath the head. And you might want to have one extra towel or blanket ready as well. And when you're ready, come lay down and make yourself comfortable. So really take your time here. We're going to be here for a little bit. So I want to make sure that you don't feel any pain, any pinching, any uncomfortableness. So if you know you need anything else, please go grab it and make yourself comfortable. You can scoop your shoulders a little bit more underneath you and let your palms face up. Make sure your pelvis, your lower back feels okay. And lie comfortably on your back here. If it's okay for you, you can close your eyes. And I always like to start with a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Let's do that a couple more times. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Maybe one more. Deep inhale. Maybe make some noise, some sound. letting go. All right, slowly coming back to your natural breath, in and out through your nose. Making that shift from whatever you were doing before into this moment on your yoga mat today. Checking in with your body. Noticing how you're feeling, how your body is feeling and doing. And just allowing your body to be here the way your body is. There might be some parts of the body that feel more tight and tense, while other parts of your body feel more open and comfortable. What would happen if you just allow that to be here? To not judge it, and just let your body be the way it is. Can you notice the breath moving in your body? The rising, the falling. While you gently soften your shoulders just a little bit more. Your jaw relaxed. Sinking deeper into the body and into this moment. Gently following the breath in and out the nostrils. Without judging your breath, notice where the breath is moving the most. Do you feel it more in your chest? Do you feel it more in the belly? Is your breath really fast or is it kind of slow? Is the breath fluent and flowy? Or does the breath feel restricted, tight, hard? Just noticing the breath as it is. There's no need to breathe in any particular way right now. Do you feel the breath mostly in your front body? Do you feel it more in the back body? Do you feel it more or deeper in your right side or in your left side? Or does it feel even through both? Now gently, without forcing the breath too much, see if you can allow the breath to move a little deeper into the belly. You might even place one or both hands on your belly, below the belly button, just above the pubic bone. And just allow your belly and your pelvis to receive the breath here. Let your breath move deep down into the belly, into your pelvic bowl. Feeling that breath move in the body, gently creating some space in your pelvis. You might even feel the breath move all the way down into your pelvic floor. Stay with that deep breathing. If you have an extra blanket or towel, you can grab it and place it now on top of your thighs. And then come back to that deep breathing. And notice if that little bit of weight on your thighs helps you to breathe even deeper. You might not feel any difference, which is totally fine. But you might feel a little bit more ease to breathe deep down into your pelvic floor. And while you're breathing deep here, check in again if you feel the breath evenly in the right side of your pelvis as in the left side of your pelvis, or is one side a little deeper? If you feel a difference, you might choose to have that blanket only on the side that feels tighter. So only on the side that doesn't feel as deep. And maybe that helps to even it out a bit. Try to relax your legs and your buttocks. Breathing gently and deeply into your pelvis. Now let's take another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out through your mouth. If that felt good, you can do it again. Letting go. Maybe one more. Feel that release on the exhale. And then slowly, if the eyes were closed, you can open your eyes, maybe move your fingers, your feet, your toes, hands. Take the blanket off of your thighs and start to hug both knees into your chest. While if you were using a pillow, push the pillow away, and then you can hug the knees in. Just take a moment here, moving around on your lower back. You can sway gently from left to right. You can make a couple circles if that feels right. Maybe you just make this kind of a half moon shape or smile. Just move here however it feels right for you. Making sure if you are making circles, you move both ways, both directions. And then slowly coming back to the center. You can keep your right knee hugged in and then place your left foot back down. We're going to move into a half happy baby. Take the right arm on the inside of the right knee, gently taking that knee a little bit over out to the side, but not too far. You want to keep it kind of hugged into the body. Then with that right hand, see if you can reach for the outside of your right foot. Don't worry if that is not happening. What you can do is hold on to the big toe inside of the foot, hold on to the ankle, hold on to the shin. Whatever works, whatever you can grab. Whenever you're ready, you can take the sole of the foot up to the ceiling and gently pulling the knee next to your body towards the mat. But don't let the knee splay out, but keep it close, like you kind of want to align it with your armpit. You can keep your left knee bent, or if that feels better, you can stretch your left leg out. Just make sure it feels okay in your lower back and you don't feel any pinching or pain there. If you feel a lot of compression in your right hip, like your leg is pushing a lot on your side body, what you can do is you can use a block or a pillow, whatever you've got nearby, and then place that against your thigh so you can lean onto that. So you don't have that compression, but you still get the deeper stretch. And there you are, just breathing. Breathing down into your pelvis, into your pelvic floor as much as you can. If you feel like you can't really ground down through the back of your pelvis, you can always put more height underneath the head. Like maybe put another blanket or a pillow there, so you feel really grounded through the backside of your pelvis. Keep breathing here, make sure your jaw is relaxed. And yes, you can use a belt here, absolutely. Now bring your awareness into your tailbone. And just imagine you are releasing or unfurling it down towards the mat. Our pelvic floor is attached to the tailbone. And by releasing your tailbone here, you gently create a little bit more space. The pelvic floor is also attached here, or not here, always attached to your sitting bones. So see if you can reach your right sitting bone away from your crown. So you kind of want to release it towards the back side of your mat. Let's do one more breath here. Then slowly letting go of the foot and then slowly taking the foot down. You can take a moment here with your knees bent or legs stretched out, whatever feels best for you. Feel the difference between left and right. And then move to the second side, hugging your left knee in. Left arm on the inside of the left leg, left knee, and then with the hand moving towards the outside of the foot. Again, if this is not possible for your body, don't worry, hold anywhere else on the mat or even use a belt. Slowly taking the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, while you gently pull the knee next to the body, close, hugged into the body towards the mat. If you feel that compression in the hip, use some support like a block or a pillow. So your leg, your thigh can really lean onto that. You can do with the right leg whatever feels right. Sometimes stretching the leg long can irritate your lower back. Keep the knee bent. If you have issues with SI joint instability, you have the knee bent, you might even want to choose to lower the knee out to the side so you stay more balanced on your pelvis, on your sacrum. See if you can still keep relaxing your left shoulder here. Relaxing your jaw. And then let's see if we can lengthen that left sitting bone away from the head. So reaching it towards the back end of your mat. Releasing the tailbone down. Letting that breath move into your pelvis and into your pelvic floor. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then when you're ready, release the posture. Take your foot down, stretch your legs long if you like. You can take a moment here, feeling the body. And then for our next posture, we're gonna use a yoga belt. So if it's not nearby, get it. If you don't have a belt, you can use a long scarf, you can use a long sock, whatever you've got lying around. And then when you're ready, you can come back down on your back with the feet in the mat to start. And then when you're ready, you hug the right knee in. You take the belt around the foot and see if you can place the belt just in front of the heel. And then when you're ready, you can stretch the leg up. So you want the belt just in front of the heel or behind the heel, depending on from which way you're looking. I always find that a little bit confusing, but it's just here at the back, not at the front, not around the toes. Then you can use your belt or whatever you're using with one end in one hand and the other hand in the other end in the other hand. And then have the foot kind of be aligned with the hip. So you don't want to be pulling that leg towards you and lifting your lower back. You want your lower back to stay grounded, your sacrum to stay grounded. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can stretch your leg long. Again, no pain in the lower back. And then kind of reaching your right heel up, but at the same time, you can pull gently onto the belt, pulling your upper thigh bone back into the hip socket. Make sure you can still relax your shoulders as much as possible. Of course, all depending on how long your belt is, of course. And make sure you don't lock the knee. You can gently bend the knee. And if the hamstring is really tight, generously bend your knee. Completely okay. Then we're going to bring our awareness back into the tailbone, the tip of the tailbone. So that very end of your spine or beginning of the spine. And you kind of release it down. Your right sitting bone, again, is lengthening away from the crown. And if the left leg is long, you want to reach your left heel away from the head as well. So you're kind of stretching from front to back and stretching up and down through the right leg. Jaw soft. Then take another deep breath in. Deep breath out. You can slowly bend your right knee, take the belt off, stretch your right leg long, take a moment to feel that difference. Usually the right leg feels a little bit longer here, or a little bit more aware, or the breath goes deeper onto the right side right now. And then when you're ready, moving over to the left, hugging the left knee into the chest. From there, you take the belt around the foot, just behind the heel. And then stretch your leg up. Use as much length of your belt as you have, so you can keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep the knees soft, don't lock it. And reach the heel up, but at the same time, gently pulling down and pulling that upper thigh bone back into the hip socket. You can stretch your right leg long if that feels right. If it doesn't feel right, just keep the knee bent. Keep breathing here, reaching your left sitting bone away from your head, letting your breath move down into your pelvis, into your pelvic floor. Try to unfurl the tailbone. And it's okay if releasing the tailbone, if you think like, I don't feel that, don't worry about it. You might need to practice more awareness in your pelvis to bring that awareness there, to learn to release it down. Let's take another deep breath in. Let it go. And then slowly bend the knee, take the belt off, take it to the side. Stretch your leg long, or if your knees bend, if that's better for your lower back, and just feel. How does your body feel right now? Where's the breath moving? And when you're ready, let's take both feet flat in the mat, walking the heels a little bit in, moving to figure four shape, taking the right ankle above your left thigh, just above the knee, creating a figure four shape here. Taking a deep breath in, taking a deep breath out. see if you want to stay here, or if you want to feel more stretch, maybe lift off your left foot, interlacing the fingers around your left thigh. But I want you to make sure that your lower back, your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, stays grounded. You can always put more weight underneath or height underneath the head. That will help you keep your lower back down. But make sure that you're not lifting your head, but you can release the head down. If it's not possible for you to keep that lower back down with the foot lifted, take the foot back down. Keep breathing here. You can always gently pull or push the right knee further away from you. But try to keep your left knee in line with the hip. So you're not pulling that left knee closer by, because if you do that, you will lift your tailbone up, your lower back off of the mat. Relax your left foot. Well, let's see if we can bring awareness back into the tail, into the tailbone, and gently release it down. A figure 4 shape is amazing stretch for the piriformis muscle and outer hip muscles, which can be quite tight and tense when you're dealing with pelvic pain, pelvic tightness. Let's take another deep breath in here. Letting it go. And then slowly take the foot back down if it was up in the air. Take the right foot down. You can stay here for a moment, stretch your legs, move your body, do what feels good. Listen to your own body. Feel the release. And we'll move into the second side. Left ankle on top of the right thigh or just above the knee. Take a breath here. Take a moment to feel. Left and right don't always need to be the same. So it might be that here you want to keep the foot down or you want to lift it. Do what feels good. If you lift it, interlace the fingers behind the thigh, but keep the right knee kind of in line with the hip. So you don't want to be pulling it up towards you, lifting your lower back. If you do feel a lift off your lower back or your tail, and the knee is above your hip, you can always put more weight underneath, or height, not weight, height underneath your head. You can gently push that left knee away from you. You can do that with your left arm, but you can also just do that from the hip. And you're just breathing here. Breathing into your left outer hip, your left buttock, into your pelvis and the pelvic floor. See if you can let that breath create a little bit more space. Final breath here. Release. Release the posture, take the feet down. Move, stretch, relax. And then when you're ready, you can slowly come over to your favorite side in a fetal position. You can always use your arm as a little pillow for the head. We'll just take a moment here. Feel your pelvis, feel your lower back. And then use your upper arm to push yourself all the way up. And we're going to move into a seated posture. If you have a bolster or a big pillow, grab it. If you don't, you might have a folded blanket or towel that you can sit on. And if it's okay for your body, I want you to come sit on your knees. And I'll show you from the side to get into it with a neutral pelvis and spine, you want to start on your hands and your knees with the pillow or the bolster in between the knees. Then from here, you kind of want to scoop your tail up. So a lot of times when we come sit down, we pull the tail under. By scooping the tail up here, while you gently move back, the moment you feel you're doing this, pulling the tail down, I'm not sure if you can see it with the dark background here, but the moment you feel you're pulling it in, you want to pull it up again. And then from there, you slowly come sit down so that your pelvis is in a neutral position. And especially if you're sitting on a bolster, you can feel your sitting bones gently pushing on the sides of your bolster. Sit up straight, and I will go turn back to you. You can have your hands on your thighs, on your knees. Of course, if sitting on your knees is not working for you, you can sit cross-legged any other way, of course. Do your body. Hands on your thighs, we're going to gently start to make a couple circles from our belly with our pelvis, with our spine. You can feel that when you move your pelvis, you feel that when you go one way, you feel your right or left sitting bone more, and then the other way it's the other one. You can really start to feel how that pelvis is moving around in space. Then see if you can go the other way around. Just gently breathing. You can even move on your breath if you like. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. And you can make the circles really small. You can also go big if that's more your thing. And then slowly coming back to the center, finding your neutral spine again, making sure you're not tucking your tail under, you're not rounding through the spine, but you're really sitting on your sitting bones and you have your perineum kind of flat, parallel to your bolster or to the floor. And from here, we were making circles. Let's do a couple cat-cows. On the inhale, tilting the pelvis more forward, stretching the belly, heart moves up. On the exhale, tucking the tail under, rounding through the spine. Inhale, scooping forward, stretching the belly, the heart. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Beautiful. Keep going. Inhale forward, exhale back, go in your own pace, on your own breath. And feel that movement off your pelvis. Feel how your sitting bones are moving on whatever you're sitting on. Feel the movement of the spine in relation to the pelvis. Let's do one more inhale, one more exhale. And then coming back to neutral. Finding neutral pelvis, neutral spine, pushing your sitting bones down, at the same time reaching the crown up. See if you can take a couple deep breaths in and out through the nose, down into the pelvis, into your pelvic floor. You might feel every time when you inhale that your pelvic floor is gently touching down onto your bolster, onto your pillow. But maybe you don't feel that. That's okay. You might need more pushing up against your perineum, more awareness there. That's fine. All right. We're going to do one more movement here. So we've been doing circles. We've had the cat-cow. Now we're going to see if we can make a figure 8. So it's a little bit more difficult for some of us. We need to think a little bit more. But once you found the flow, you just keep going. And just imagine that your pelvis is creating a figure 8 or infinity sign. Doesn't matter how it looks like. We're just trying to find a little bit of swaying, flowing movement here. Just to wake up the pelvis, to wake up the energy. Good. Let's see if we can reverse the figure 8. Can we go the other way around? Usually the first direction you go is the easier one. At least for me, this one I'm doing right now is way difficult. I need to think more, but after a little while you find that flow. You just keep going with that flow. And then coming back to the center. See if you can find that neutral pelvis where you're really sitting on the sitting bones, where you feel maybe your perineum, which is in between your anus and vaginal opening. You can feel maybe that flat on your bolster, relaxing your shoulders, maybe closing the eyes for a moment, coming to your breath, breathing deep into the pelvis. How does your pelvic bowl feel right now? So for me, my pelvic bowl feels alive. It feels warm. It just feels like I turned the switch on. And if your pelvis feels different, totally fine. We all have different bodies, different experiences. Now, when you're ready, open the eyes. And from here, let's move to our hands and our knees. Coming off of the bolster, if your knees are sensitive, of course, place a blanket underneath your knees. Finding a tabletop position. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are kind of underneath the hips. And then here, we're gonna do a movement which is called wagging the tail. So imagine like a dog, you have a tail and you're wagging it from left to right. And just gently moving your pelvis in space, making sure you're not starting to hang in your shoulders here. You can just keep looking down just to keep your neck in line with the spine. And just see and feel how that is for you. Can you feel the gentle stretching on the inside of your sitting bones? And coming back to the center. And then let's see if we can make some circles with the pelvis and with the tail. Imagine you have a pencil maybe on your tail and you're tracking those circles, like there's a wall behind you and you're drawing circles with your tail. And really, it doesn't matter. Don't think about, am I doing it right or not? I just want you to move. So however you're moving, that's completely fine. See if you can change the direction. Can you go the other way around? Or is it just one way that you're going? Breathing. And then slowly coming back to the center. All right, let's take, if it feels okay for you, it also depends a little bit on your posture. But for me, it feels good to do this with my knees together. It helps me to balance a little bit more. But if for you, we're gonna do balancing. If for you, having your knees really hip distance is better, you can keep it there. You can also explore and try what feels better. You want your hands underneath the shoulders, spread through the fingers, pushing down. You want your spine in neutral, so not hanging, but also not rounding through the spine. Then take a deep breath in through to your belly. And on your exhale, gently engage in your lower belly. Think about zipping up your pants and then stretching your right leg back. Then slowly taking the knee back down, take a breath in, but try not to move your pelvis. So you want to kind of have your pelvis and your upper body very rigid and steady and stable. On your next exhale, engaging the lower belly, lifting your left leg behind you, and then slowly taking it back down. Try not to move the pelvis. Let's do that one more time with only the legs. On an exhale, lifting the right leg, reaching it back, and taking it back down, not lifting the hip. And then the left leg, exhale, stretch it back, and taking it back down. And you can stay with doing this, or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, or if you want to explore, next time when you exhale, it's lifting the right leg, left arm, and then slowly coming back down. Move slow and controlled. Exhale, left leg, right arm, coming back. Exhale, right leg, left arm, and back. Try not to hang in your body. And just keep going from left to right. You really want your pelvis, your whole upper body to stay really rigid, to not move at all when you move your legs and your arms. And I know that's kind of hard, but that's how we want to be using our core muscles. That's how we want to start to create this stability. If you notice you really start to open your hips when you stretch your leg all the way out, maybe only go halfway, maybe only stretching it to the back with the toes still in the mat, only using the legs, or with the arms the same, maybe not all the way out, but maybe halfway. Keep going, do both sides 2 more times. So twice more right leg, twice more left leg. Good, and try not lift and open the hip. I'll try to keep everything in line. And keep breathing. Always when I do really concentrated things, I forget to breathe. Then when you're done, you can move a little bit. Maybe you want to do a couple circles. Maybe you want to do a couple cat-cows here. Maybe you just want to shake it out. Maybe shaking the leg. All right. And moving back to your hands and your knees. And if you have blocks, grab your blocks. If you have 2, amazing. If you don't, you can do it without. It's just more spacious if you have something underneath your hands, but don't worry if you don't have it. So from your tabletop, you want to step your right foot forward and take the right foot on the outside of your right hand. And then you can place your hands on the blocks, or if you don't have blocks, you might have something else you can place your hands on. So I'll show you from this side. The hands are on the inside, the foot is on the outside. You can turn the knee and the foot a little out if that feels right, or you can just keep it pointing straight forward, but try to keep the knee or take the knee here in a 90-degree angle. So you're not leaning forward like this. Then with your hands on the blocks, see if you can slowly and gently start to make some circles with your pelvis. If you have SI joint instability, I want you to make really small circles. If you're really free and open in your pelvis, you can go bigger. But if you have lower back issues, keep it small. Just notice how this feels. And see if you can go the other way around. Try to keep your spine in a long, neutral position. Trying not to round through the spine too much. And then slowly coming back to the center. Take a deep breath here. Deep breath out. Good. Then from here, slowly coming back to your hands and your knees. Maybe wiggle it out. And then we move to the second side, stepping the left foot forward. Take the left foot on the outside of your hand. If you have something to put your hands on, great. Just makes it easier to keep that spine long. If you are on your hands, And if that's painful for the wrist, you can also come onto your fists. That can help. And try to lengthen here as well. Then slowly we're going to make those circles again. Keep them small. If you have any pain, any tightness in the lower back or SI joints, you can go bigger if that feels right. Try to have the arms on the inside of the knee, on the inside of the front foot. Then go the other way around and just feel. Try not to hang into your shoulders. No, hanging here, opening the heart, lengthening through the spine. It's almost like you're steering your upper thigh bone, or no, your pelvis around your upper thigh bone. All right, coming back to the center, take a breath. And then coming back to your hands and your knees. You might want to shake it out, move it out. Maybe let's come to a child's pose, big toes together, knees wide apart, stretching it out. Taking the forehead down. Breathing down into the lower back, into the pelvic floor, into the sitting bones. Checking in with how your pelvis and your pelvic floor feel right now. Let's take one more deep breath. Let it go. Good. Slowly come back up. All right, we're going to do a down dog. If for whatever reason down dog is not possible for you today, you can also come into a puppy pose here. Coming onto your knees, walking your hands forward, lengthening through the spine. But if a down dog is a possibility, take the hands down, spread through the fingers. Try to really ground down through the bases of your fingers and the mouse of your thumb. Tuck your toes under. Take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, you're shifting back and then lifting the knees. Feet are about hip distance and knees are bent. You can walk your dog if you like, but don't come into your dog with your straight legs. Keep your knees bent. You kind of want to reach your sitting bones up and back while you lengthen your spine. Your head is relaxed in between the upper arms. You're grounding down through the hands, and at the same time also through the toes and the feet. Try to really lengthen the spine. It's almost like you're reaching with the heart towards your thighs, but not all the way. Your shoulders are wide. And you're really kind of reaching your pelvis away from your head, away from your shoulders. And then try to breathe deep into your pelvic floor. And then maybe on your inhale, you might even feel your sitting bones reaching a little bit apart from each other. And on the exhale, just shifting back. And it's a small, tiny, subtle movement. If you're really reaching your sitting bones up here, you might be able to feel it. We have about 5 more breaths here. If it's starting to become too much, you can always come down into a child's pose. Listen to your body. Final 2 breaths. Good. Slowly take your knees down. And then let's move into a supported child's pose. You can grab your bolster or big pillow and place it in front of you. If you have blocks, you might want to have your blocks at the front of the mat. And then you can have your blanket or towel and place that in between your heels and your sitting bones. And when you're ready, you can slowly come down. Make sure you don't have the bolster all the way against the belly so that there's some space for the belly here. And you can come all the way down, have the forehead down. If you need some space to breathe, you can always put a blanket there. You want to let your chest really rest on that bolster. Maybe it feels too much with the hands on the blocks. You can take them off the blocks. You can even stretch the arms back if that's better for you. If you need more support in between your sitting bones and your heels, you can put an extra blanket there, another pillow. Try to make it comfortable for you. And if you're not comfortable on top of your pillow, move it away. I'm just showing you an option that could be really nice, but if it's not nice to you, don't do it. If you are arriving in your child's pose here, see if you can breathe into your sacrum, which is the back of your pelvis, Heiligbeen in Dutch, and kind of the back side of your pelvic floor, where it attaches to your tailbone, your sitting bones. And then when you exhale, try to visualize tension releasing. Inhaling down into the sacrum, the backside of your pelvic floor. Exhaling, releasing. This is a great posture, especially with that deep breathing, to create space, to release tension, to release pain. We'll be here for about another minute and a half. If you ever feel like wanting to come out earlier, listen to the body. Follow the breath. Finding that stillness and softness within. Relaxing your jaw, your shoulders. Breathing into the length of your spine. One more deep breath in. Maybe release, exhale through the mouth. And then gently and slowly you can come back up. Take your time, don't rush. Once you're all the way back up, we're gonna come back down on our back and we're gonna use a block. So if you don't have a block, but you do have a bolster or meditation pillow, or maybe a few folded blankets, you can use that. We're gonna go for a supported bridge pose. When you're ready, you're gonna slowly come down on your back. Have your feet in the mat. Walk the feet in a little bit. Push your feet down. And on an exhale, you're engaging your lower belly, like you're sipping up a pants, lifting your hips, and then placing the block underneath your sacrum. So just above your buttocks. Make sure that the block is not in your lumbar spine, but it's really at the lowest part. Arms are next to the body. You can scoop the shoulders a little bit more underneath you. If you like, you can even interlace the fingers behind you or just have your palms facing down. Keep looking up and try to really release your whole pelvis, your whole pelvic bowl on top of your support. If you have the feeling that your knees are kind of want to knock into each other or want to come out, you can always place a block in between the knees so the knees can lean on the block, or you can have a belt around your thighs just to make sure they're not falling out. But another thing that could really help if you experience that is to really focus on pushing the feet down, especially the ball of your big toe, the heel, the ball of the pinky toe. So those are the corners of the feet. You're really grounding down through the corners of the feet. You're pushing them down, and you can also kind of push them away from the head. Not like you're moving your feet away, but you're pushing down and a little bit away. Now imagine, or gently, it's not imagining, but it's a gentle movement, pushing the top edge of your buttocks away from your lower spine, so to create a little bit more space there in your sacrum. Keep breathing. Bridge pose is really amazing to create more space to breathe. Make sure you're not tucking your chin in, but you're lengthening the neck and you're opening the chest. See if you can allow the breath to move deeper. Using your diaphragm, midrif, to breathe deeper. Moving that breath into the belly. We have about 1 more minute here. If you feel any pain, if this is not your posture today, you can always come out. Really letting that pelvis rest on your prop, releasing it down. Good. Let's do 1 more deep breath. Let it go. Great. Gently engaging your lower belly. On your exhale, lifting your hips a little higher so you can take the block away. And then gently and slowly coming all the way back down. Once you're all the way back down, you might want to windshield wiper the knees from left to right. You might want to hug the knees in for a moment, gently massaging your lower back here. Do whatever feels needed. And then slowly rolling over to your favorite side, just taking 1 breath there. And then using your upper hand to push yourself all the way back up. And then we have 1 more posture before we move into relaxation. I want to go for a supine butterfly, and I'm going to show you a couple options depending on what kind of props you've got. So if you don't have any props, you can just come lie down and come here in regular supine butterfly. But if you do have some props, you might want to make it a little bit more opening. If you have a big pillow or a bolster, you can place that behind you. You can lay yourself on top of that. You have more opening in the heart. Or if you also have another kind of prop, maybe blocks, you can make this a, how do you call it, a sloping shape. You can lean on top of here. If you don't have blocks, but you do have another pillow, you can do it like that as well. So you have a little bit more of this diagonal shape. And of course, if your butterfly is a bit much for the hips, maybe you do have some blankets, you can use that to support your thighs with. So if you want to support your hips, push it against your thigh and not underneath the knee, but really supporting the thighs and the hips from there. So choose your variation. If you have props, I really invite you to make it comfortable and very opening for you, supporting your body. If you don't have props, don't worry, just lay flat on the mat and then come into your butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Once you are there, see if you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through the mouth. Releasing any tension, any worry, any fear. Deep breath in through the nose. Deep breath out through your mouth. Do that a couple times. On your inhale, breathing in new energy, breathing in love. On the exhale, letting go of all you no longer need. And then slowly coming back to a more natural breath in and out through the nose. But letting that breath still be deep, letting it move down into your belly, into your pelvis, into your pelvic floor. Maybe all the way into your inner thighs. Butterfly here is amazing to open the belly, the pelvis, the hips, the inner thighs. And if you're being supported by a pillow behind the back, you can also have that opening in the heart. A lot of times when there is tightness in the pelvis, in the hips, there's usually also some tightness in the upper body, the shoulders, neck, and the jaw. And with this, you tick all those boxes. And you can open and relax into that opening. Just keep following the breath, letting your breath be your anchor point into the now. While we breathe here for about another minute or so. We have one more deep breath in. A long, deep breath out. And from here, use your hands to gently push your knees back together. Then walk your feet as wide as the mat and let the knees knock into each other so they can lean against each other. So the knees are together. And then from here, you can walk your knees back underneath, your feet back underneath your knees. And then gently, slowly roll over to your favorite side, using your hands to push yourself back up. Take your time, no rushing. And then from here, we're moving into Shavasana, into our final relaxation. Just like at the beginning, I want you to be as comfortable as you can. So place a pillow underneath your knees, place blankets underneath the head, cover yourself with a blanket if you're a little bit cold. Maybe have an eye pillow on top of your eyes or a washcloth or whatever. Make yourself comfortable. Use whatever you've got. And then come all the way down on your back. Your arms stretched out to the side with the palms facing up. Let your feet fall out. And then close your eyes. If you like, take one more deep breath in through your nose and exhaling out through your mouth, letting go. Relaxing your body, letting your shoulders sink a little deeper. Letting the back of the head sink a little deeper. Letting your pelvic bowl, your sacrum, sink a little deeper. Consciously grounding your body into relaxation, into softness, into letting go. And with a soft and relaxed body, allow your awareness now to sink onto your pubic bone. Letting your awareness sink into your pubic bone, that bone at the front of the body. And just becoming aware of this bone, which is actually a joint. Just feeling the hardness of it. And from your pubic bone, now move your awareness along the edge, along the ridge of your pelvic bowl, moving it to the right, going all the way until you are at the side, at the highest point of your pelvis. Taking a moment there, becoming aware of that bone. And then from that right side, you can move now all the way back, walking your awareness all the way to the back until you are at your SI joint. Your SI joint is sometimes where some people have a little dimple. And it's where the innominate bone, that side bone, attaches to the sacrum. And from there, moving your awareness now into your sacrum. Letting your awareness really sink into that sacrum. And below the sacrum, we have the tailbone. Really sinking into your back. Then from there, moving the awareness into your left SI joint. Moving a little bit over to the left. Resting there. And then from your SI joint, walking the awareness along the ridge, the upper side of your pelvic bone, over to your side. And letting it rest there. And then slowly walking it back forward, coming all the way back to your pubic bone. These are the edges of your pelvic bowl. Now from here, see if you can move inside that bowl. Can you feel awareness inside your pelvic bowl? Really sinking into that whole bowl. This is your space. How does it feel to be here? Does it feel spacious and big? Does it feel restricted and tight? It doesn't matter. Then at the bottom of this bowl, we have the pelvic floor muscles or the pelvic diaphragm. See if you can let your awareness sink into that pelvic diaphragm. You can become aware of your pelvic floor here for a moment. Taking another deep breath into your whole pelvic bowl. Gently exhaling through your mouth if you like. And then slowly, in your own time, see if you can start to come back. Feeling your whole body now again on the mat, not only the pelvic bowl. Feeling your legs, your arms, your back, your head. Taking your time, whenever it feels right, you can slowly start to move your fingers, your toes, hands and feet. Maybe moving the head if you like. Slowly inviting more and more movement back into your body in any way that feels right for you. Take your time. Whenever you're ready, you can slowly and gently roll over to your favorite side. Lay down in your fetal position. Taking a moment to check in with your body, how you're feeling, how you're doing. How you feel may be different now than at the start of today's class. Take your time. Now when you're ready, you can use your upper hand to push yourself all the way up into a seated pose of your choice with the eyes closed. Maybe the palms together in front of the heart or on top of each other, on top of the heart, whatever resonates more with you. And together here, we'll end today's practice in gratitude. Take a moment to thank yourself. Thank yourself for taking this time, for creating this space. Thanking your amazing, your beautiful body, your amazing pelvis for stretching, for opening, for strengthening. And being grateful for the yoga and all its teachings. I thank you. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining this class. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. I will come a little bit closer again, so it's easier for me to see your faces. So thank you for joining me. If you do have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or pop your question in the chat. If you just want to go, you can go. I thank you for joining me. You will receive a replay of this class as well. And yeah, if you just want to go, I thank you and wish you a great rest of your evening. If you have a question, let me know. Or if you just want to share anything.
No questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Steffi. I don't have any questions.
Thank you for joining. No worries. Happy
Thanks,
New
Steffi.
Year.
Thanks so much, Steffi. I'm ready for bed.
Good. Have a good night.
See you again. Night,
All
night.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.